historian John Mills.
Thank you to the DOT and to the governor and to all the dignitaries here for inviting me to speak. I didn't prepare any remarks. That could be a good one. But it's somewhat emotional for me. I did the research into Robin Starr. My nonprofit has been researching him for several years. I'm an enslaved man in Danbury, Connecticut, who decided as a mechanism for freedom to enlist during the Revolutionary War. It's emotional a little bit for me because please don't start counting on your hands and toes, but I was around in 1976. And I remember, you too, yeah, I remember not feeling all that connected to the 200s. And I believe that was because I didn't see myself in it. And I don't think I'm an unusual component to that narrative. I think there's a lot of African Americans that did not see themselves in that. And with the 250th today, we have another opportunity to ensure that doesn't happen and we don't have young children of color feeling detached and disconnected from this story relative to our history. So having a sign in our state that reflects Robin Starr's story, I think is incredibly important. Born in Guinea, captured, brought to our country, enslaved in Danbury, eventually offered an opportunity to gain freedom while serving during the Revolution, forces us to think, the Revolution gave us our independence, but he was fighting not only for a country's independence, but for his own freedom at the same time. How do we qualify that on top of patriotism? It's another level. And there are so many other individuals here in our state that have that same story. Not only that, after gaining his freedom 3 years in, raising enough funds to pay for it, he went back off to war, now free, and served for another 3 years, long enough for after the fight, George Washington gave him the Badge of Merit. The level of heroism and the dedication that must have required, I think, is something to be remembered. But not only that, he had 3 grandsons who all served during the Civil War. One of them enlisting at 16 years old, lying about his age to do so, killed very quickly into the conflict. 2 other grandsons who were both wounded, one shot in the face, one shot in the leg, left the field hospital to dive back into battle. This is a lineage, it's not just Robin, and a story that's not unusual. Lineages of African Americans who served in the French and Indian, the Revolution, the Civil War, across their families as a part of giving us all the freedoms we have today. So they should be injected into the historical narrative. They should be represented on signs across our state. They should be talked about in our schools. They should have monuments. And so for that reason, I'm incredibly grateful to our state historian, Andy Horowitz, and all those that are part of injecting Robin Starr into this narrative on this day and this year relative to these celebrations. So thank you for giving me the time to speak. I appreciate it.